okay? Unless the guy was able to somehow hide and so on. University professors, all of those kind of people. Now, aside from those, they would kill people that were darker skinned. If there was anybody that looked Asian, perhaps, there weren't too many. Gay people, handicapped people. Anybody was different. You know, they wanted the pure race. You've read that in books. So that's why they killed these people. And in Poland, it wasn't just Poland. I mean, when I say 5 million people, non-Jews were killed, I'm talking about Poland, Romania, Hungary, Italy, you know, and so on and so on. All of these countries that were in this, that were occupied by the Germans. Yes.
Why was the communication network better when the Germans came in and said, you who are Gentile get on these trains, you who are Jewish get on these trains, but the Jewish communication lines were apparently better in knowing that this is a sentence to death?
Well, many Jews escaped from concentration camps. Unfortunately, not enough, but many did. You know, there are many stories about this, they escaped. When they escaped, they told the free world what was going on. The free world didn't believe it. Roosevelt didn't believe it. America didn't believe it. You know, if America had believed it, they would have bombed Auschwitz. Bombing Auschwitz could have saved a couple of million people, even though it would have killed the people there. Bombing the facilities or the trains, nobody believed it. We believed it. Because number one, in the ghetto, don't forget, I with my own eyes saw things that I don't even want to talk about because there's some young people, young kids here, okay? The murders that I saw in the ghetto. Or when we went to the cemetery, I saw 13,000 people approximately shot that day. So where were we going? You know what I mean? Now the Poles didn't see that. The Gentiles didn't see that. I'm telling you, when I opened the door to the train, they wouldn't leave. My stepfather kept yelling at him, leave, leave, you're going to get killed. They wouldn't believe it. It's sad, very sad. Yes?
Where was your grandmother during all this?
Well, my grandmother stayed in the ghetto, and unfortunately what we heard was true. Like 2 weeks later, everybody in the ghetto was killed. So she died in the ghetto.
So that day
and my uncles and my aunts.
The day that she put the wood in front of the closet, those Germans that came with the dogs, did they end up killing anyone in that apartment with you?
Well, I don't know. They didn't kill her or us. That's all I could tell you. I don't really know. But that incident was probably like maybe 2 weeks before we left the ghetto. Something like that. But that ghetto was eliminated. Of the 350 ghettos, just this little statistic, 349 of them were eliminated. When I say eliminated, that means the people were killed either in the ghetto or sent to concentration camps, okay? The one that survived was a ghetto called the Kovno ghetto in Lithuania. And there's a lot of data from this because it did survive. People drew pictures, people had logs of what happened every day, and all of that stuff survived. All of that stuff, incidentally, is in the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C. Yes?
Can you speak to your ability and your mother's ability to sort of not only survive, but go ahead and lead a life, come through all of this, you know, be able to raise children, feel happy again? Can you speak to what allowed you to do that? Or some individuals to do that and some not to?
I don't know. It's a very difficult question because I'm just a normal guy that grew up, and I came to this country, I was 12. You know, I'd never gone to school. I went to school, I got my degree, and so on. I guess the way I'd like to answer that is to tell you that I'm the kind of guy that doesn't hate people. I do not hate the Germans, okay? I do not hate the Poles for pointing the fingers at the Jews, okay? Never have, okay? When I go to Germany, I do not have a problem. again, don't misunderstand me. I certainly do hate the people that did this. Okay? And they should be punished, and most of them were punished. You know, the Nuremberg trials and so on, people were caught for years and years afterwards. But as a people, I cannot say that. So I think I would attribute that possibly to, maybe that gives you an answer. I don't know. Anybody else?
So what was your path to this country? That you were here at 12?
Well, in 1945, after the Russians took Poland and the war was over, my brother and I went to a movie, our first movie, Ganga Din. If anybody's ever seen that, it's a fantastic movie. Okay? Anyway, halfway through the movie, you'll see why I'm telling you this in a minute. Some Polish kids saw my brother and saw me, and they started yelling, "Jew, Jew, Jew." So we didn't even wait till the end of the movie, unfortunately. I had to see the end of it in this country. We ran out of the movie house and ran home and told my mother. Now, I was 10, he was 12, okay? So my mother said, okay, that's it. We are leaving Poland, period. In fact, my stepfather said he's not going because he knows the language. He was doing okay after the war. He was already doing some trading, you know, my stepfather. We were eating well at this point, better than before, of course. So he did not want to leave. My mother said, you don't want to leave? I'm leaving with the boys. Well, he did come. So we escaped through Poland. We went to Czechoslovakia. You know, at that time, this was one country, Czechoslovakia. Now it's two. And that was easy to do because that was communistic. So it's like taking a pass going to Mexico, you know, from LA. You take a one-day pass and you don't come back. So we went there. Then we had to hire a guide, and we did, to take us into Germany, West Germany, not East Germany, obviously, right? East Germany was Russian. So we got us into West Germany, and there we found a camp that the United Nations ran called UNRWA camps. Now these are good camps. Don't confuse this with the other camps. These are fantastic camps. And it was mostly, when I say UNRWA, it was mostly United States run camps. It was in a Glusterhausen, which is kind of near Heidelberg down in Germany, on the West German part. And they took us in because we were DPs, displaced people. They took us into the camp. We stayed there. My mother worked, my stepfather worked. I learned how to blow bubbles with chewing gum. I ate my first orange, my first banana, you know, stuff like that. And 2 years later, we got on a boat in Bremerhaven, which is the German port here, and came to America. Came to New York, and we had relatives in Pittsburgh, so we came to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Go Steelers! And Pirates. So that's how we got to. And then when I got married to Judy, we came to California. And that was in 1958. Actually 59 of it. This will be our 50-year anniversary in August.
Yay!
We're the second California couple that has done that. Does that answer your question? Okay. And I went to school, you know. Another nice thing that happened was when I got to Pittsburgh, my cousin took me to a supervisor of the schools. I still remember him sitting behind the desk, and you know, we didn't know any English. I mean, I knew words I can't say it here, because those are all the words I learned at that camp. The U.S. soldiers taught us, you know. So he just didn't even ask, didn't talk to us. He said, how old are they? So my cousin answered, I was 12. He looked at his chart. Okay. This was like in March, last of the 6th grade. My brother was 14, last of the 8th grade. So they put us in the right grades according to our age, which was great, because we were able to, by September, I knew English, you know, my brother knew English. We were able to start a high school. My high school was 7th grade.